Hey everybody, just figured I'd do another follow-up to the latest classroom meetings that I've had today. Give you some updates. I've also done some more thought and clarification about how we're going to be approaching next week. Um, so I thought I would share that stuff with you guys. First and foremost, um, Google Classroom. When you get into Google Classroom, go into the classwork section. You can't always see stuff right on the stream um, because it's going to be jumbled up and all out of order and not easily organized. And so you have to go into the classroom section. Under classwork, I've divided up all the school closure stuff into two new categories. One is school closure info, which will be right at the top. It's going to have ongoing information about announcements, how to access certain things. These videos are going to be in there. Um, any sort of updates from the school that I get that I can share with you. Um, all that kind of stuff is going to be right there in that first section. The second section right below that is going to be called School Closure Work. And that's where you're going to find all of your assignments. That way, the assignments are going to be all in one place. They're not going to be jumbled up with everything else. They're dated, so they're right in order of the date, and it's going to make it a lot easier for you to find them. Um, I had a couple of people contact me saying they couldn't find this or that information. You have to go into the classwork section. And if you're on a computer, on the left hand side, in the classwork section, there are the different categories right there. So you can click on, school closure info, school closure work. If you need to have something like for the ACA exam and you need to access the things for like the study guide, that's down in the articles and links category, which you can find right on the left, or just keep scrolling. Articles and links will show up below the classwork, the school closure work. So it's right there. Everything's in Google Classroom that you need. Please be checking that. And the expectation is that you check that every single work day, every single school day. That way, any new work is right there. Any announcements that I've posted since the day before will all be available right there. Um, Also in the info section will be all the access codes you need to get into these the Zoom meetings, anything you need to get to your BOCES files, that sort of thing, right in there. As we talked about in the last video, but just in case you didn't watch it, which you should, as you probably know or have heard at least somewhere, next week was supposed to be spring break and it's been canceled. There are a couple different reasons for that. One is that in order for us to continue to get state aid as a school, we need to offer instruction during this shutdown, and so we have to keep having school going in order for schools to continue to receive the funds that they need to operate. The second reason, which I think is the more important one right about now, is that the meal programs that you see being offered through your home schools, where you can go and pick up a lunch, um, uh, breakfast and a lunch, at various locations around your district. That is all contingent on having instruction. They can't give out free meals if there's no education happening that day. So if we're not teaching and holding sessions, then they can't give out the free food. And so it's very important now, especially with people reluctant with good reason, to go out and get food from grocery stores unless they have to, and people without work needing to still eat and feed their kids, and yourselves for that matter. It's a necessary thing to continue providing these services, and so I get it and I understand. I support that, but I'm sure a lot of you where it's been an emotional and mentally draining few weeks, and a nice week off would have been nice. But this is the reality that's ever changing as we get through all this. So sorry about that. I'm doing what I'm told, and unfortunately, that passes on to you guys too. But that said, next week, the next couple weeks really, are going to be kind of more the same. of the kind of work that we've been doing as a class. I'm going to have some stuff for the ACA exam review. So stuff you kind of read through, watch videos, read some other tutorials, mark it as done, and you're good to go. Shouldn't take you too terribly long. Another thing I decided I'd bring back for next week is a TED Talk. So for TED Talk Tuesday, you're welcome. I have a short video. It's under 5 minutes. It's about this thing called The Hero's Journey. Walks you through kind of how to set up a story, hitting all the major milestones along the way to reach like a progression of that journey. And there's some great examples in the video itself, and some visuals to make it easy to access and understand. Excuse me. And so the assignment for that is really watch a movie, read a book, read a comic book, play a video game, your choice, and break it down into the different elements of the hero's journey. In the book, or rather in the video, they do a generic run through, but then they apply it to things like the Hunger Games. And I think that can be a very interesting way to go through that. And you can see how they can break down the different characters and the different events in the story to make it fit into this narrative. So do that. On Thursday of next week at the normal times, so PM class is going to be at 2 o'clock, AM class is going to be at 3 o'clock, we are going to be having our weekly meeting on Thursday of next week. That's the 9th. Same thing as we've done before. I would really like to have everybody in there, as many people as possible. So if you can, please, please, please help me get everybody involved. Reach out to me, reach out to other people in the class, and get them into the Remind app and into Google Classroom so that we can all be on the same page. I don't want anybody feeling left behind. Next Friday is going to be another show and tell. So we're going to have a chance for you guys to show the cool things you've been working on and doing, perhaps outside of classwork that's just been creative, fun, and interesting. So whatever it may be, send a picture, send a video, and I'll try and share that with the class. Another thing I'm starting next week is I'm going to be doing office hours. So on Mondays and Wednesdays from 2 to 3 o'clock, I'm going to be on Zoom, and the information is in Google Classroom right now to log on and be a part of that. But I'm just going to be there, no agenda. I'm just going to be available. So if you have questions, concerns, you feel like you need to talk to somebody, you need some clarification on an assignment, you have some question about this whole thing that we're going through, I'll be there to be a resource for you. So we can do that one-on-one, small groups, whatever you want. You don't need to have an appointment. You don't need to sign up. You don't need to do anything. Just show up on Mondays and Wednesdays between 2 and 3 o'clock, and I'll be there. That moves us into what happens after this whole spring break thing. Like we talked about, the closure is set to expire on the 15th, but everybody, and I mean everybody, the teachers, administrators, everybody, is very much of the opinion that it's going to extend longer. We don't know how long. We're guessing at least till the end of April, at the very least. So this is just going to be something that we're going to continue doing. So we're going to have to get used to it and kind of adapt. And part of that is there's only so much review that we can do, that we're going to have to start doing some new work. And so we've been told that starting the week of the 20th, we are going to be starting to cover new material. And so what that means is that I'm going to ditch the rest of After Effects. We've done quite a bit, and you guys have been doing great. Not everybody has After Effects at home, so we're going to skip it. We're going to consider that to be done. So no need to worry about After Effects anymore this year. But that means we're going to move into what I was planning on doing for April anyway, and that is game development. So starting April 20th, we're going to start working on games. That's board games, card games, and then video games. And so we're going to be touching on all of those, starting with board games and game theory and how we can get our heads around the concept of developing a game starting on April 20th. I'll be posting some tutorial videos. I will be posting different links to other videos and demonstrations, articles to read, all that kind of stuff having to do with game development starting on the 20th. I have not tried it yet, but one of the things that that I've been planning on using for game development is Scratch, which is a web-based, browser-based game development platform that helps you learn how to code and work with the different elements of video games. I've not tried that on a phone or on a tablet, so I don't know how well they work with those, if at all. But I think that having a Chromebook or a laptop or physical desktop computer might be the best way to approach those. So even though up till now everything I've given you could be done on a phone, unfortunately now that we're going to be moving into new work in a few weeks, we're going to need to use other types of technology to achieve what we need to achieve. So if any of you out there does not have access to some sort of computer, whether it's a Chromebook or a laptop or a home computer, please let me know. I will pass that on to our staff at BOCES. They'll get in touch with your school district to somehow get the materials you need to fully participate in the class as we start new work. And the last thing on my list is Remind. I know I keep beating this to death every video, but I really need to be able to get in touch with everybody in a quick way so that everybody can stay on track. So if you have been doing the work right along, thank you very much. A lot of people haven't. We only have about 30% of the class consistently doing the work, and that's not enough. The expectation is that you'll check Google Classroom every day, do the assignments every day, and turn those in. So please help me to get in touch with everybody, or at least reach out to those in the class that you might know who you are, and you might know who they are, who might not be doing all the work that they should be. Reach out to them too, and help nudge them in the right direction to join Remind, to check out Google Classroom, so that we can all be together on the same page. I don't want anybody left behind. I know it's hard, but we need to stay connected and we need to keep going. School hasn't stopped. It's just the way we're doing it is different now. So please do your part. Do the work that's asked and required. It's going to help you in the long run. So believe me, it's kind of what we need just to do right now. Last thing, I mentioned this before. I care about you guys, and beyond all the school stuff, I'm here for you. So if anybody's having any issues at home, I know it can get crazy. It gets crazy around my house too, where you get overwhelmed, frustrated, full of anxiety. Your head's just spinning about everything. You're overstimulated. I totally understand. I'm right there with you. But if you need anybody, reach out. Some of you can attest to the fact that I've gotten, different texts back and forth through Remind at all times of the day. I was talking with somebody, around 9 o'clock one night, after 10 with somebody else. I've sent messages back and forth throughout the day. I always have my phone with me, and if you need anything, I'm here. Also, Mrs. Davis, Mrs. Butler, any of the counselors at school are also right there with their phones, ready to help and listen in any way they can. So if you have any emotional issues that you need to work out and talk to somebody about, we're here. If you have physical needs, whether it's food, technology, accessibility, other services and resources, we have a lot of connections through BOCES in order to fulfill those needs. So please reach out and let us help. We care about you guys, as we know how hard this is for everybody. So know that we're here at any time. We're here for you guys because we care. We miss you guys too. I miss hearing the laughter. I miss the conversations. I miss just the energy of our classroom. And I can't wait to get back to seeing you guys again. And I hope that's going to be soon, but I understand and hope for our safety as well. So keep your heads up. Keep that happiness and that joy about you. And we'll figure this all out together. Okay? So we're here. Let's keep going. And we'll talk to you guys soon.